Welcome back to the Props and Playmakers podcast, episode number 6, where cousins collide, codes get cracked, and culture gets called out. We're doing this one a bit different this week. It's a virtual episode, so let's jump into it. What's happening, bro? We're not in the same spot this week.
Yeah, a bit of a video link. Missing you dearly over here. So,
The old car troubles.
yeah, that's it. It'll happen, mate. It'll happen. But we're up and moving. We've got something on the back burner. So at least we're good, eh?
We're in the future, you know.
That's it. Yeah, well, it's 2025 now, so we can do this sort of thing, can't we?
That's it. Takes me back to the COVID days when everyone was doing this from home.
Yeah. Feeling locked down again. Feeling like we're not allowed out. And no, it does take you back to the COVID days, doesn't it?
For sure. Well, let's get into the footy, man. Finals fever. September is upon us.
Yeah, dude, got a pretty cool week this week for him, haven't we?
What about old Walshy on the toilet water, the little plumber?
Yeah, mate. Something in the toilet water, apparently.
It's crazy, man. Performance-enhancing toilet water. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Well, look, if he keeps playing like that, then he can keep sipping from the toilet. It's got my approval. I back it. So,
that's it, man. I think Asada might start looking into him and seeing what's in that toilet water.
Yeah, we might have a fucking Broncos anti-doping scandal on our hands. It's just what we need. Just what we need.
Anti-toilet water.
Yeah.
But it was just outstanding performance. Really, like overall, I mean, geez, if he wouldn't have got those injuries, I think he would be making a bit of a run for the Dally M right now.
Yeah, dude, he's had, like, it's been one of them things, I guess, like a lot of focus goes on to his errors and stuff, but his season this year has been just spectacular, hasn't it? Like, he's really been a key in a lot of our performances, a lot of our victories, and, like, without him, I don't know where we'd be without him, to be honest. Like, and the last couple of weeks, not having Mam and Reno, he's just stepped into the position. Like, I know we've said it over and over again that he just keeps stepping up, but he just keeps going to another level every week.
Yeah, it's definitely been. I think it's really shown that he's capable of stepping up to that level, and I think the big thing is now, does Reno just come straight back in when he's fit? Like, I mean, it's also shown Benny Hunt giving him a bit of early ball. Walsh stepping up into that first receiver role and doing a bit of the kicking, as we've talked about before. So, it's given Madge some headaches for when Reno does come back. Now, I mean, he's the captain and the playmaker. I don't think they're going to leave him out, but maybe they look at putting him on the bench to sort of ease him back in.
Look, from an injuries perspective, that makes a lot of sense. I don't see him putting Reno back into the side without putting him back in the driver's seat, sort of thing. Just the big game experience that he brings, especially coming into the finals. That I personally, I'd be putting him into the side when he's good and ready. Now, whether Madge maybe has a word to him and just says, look, fucking Walshy's got a bit of a brain on his shoulders here, maybe play off him a little bit if he's calling for the ball, feed it to him, or maybe they get in there and they start working on their combinations together. But I'm sure that's something that they're already doing anyway. But it definitely does sort of bring it into question, like how does Madge coach this from here? Because it seems like in Mam and Reno's absence that Walsh is making a lot of these plays, and you don't really want us to lose that pizzazz of the attack when Reno comes back, because ultimately that probably will be what gets us into a grand final position.
Yeah, well, I think he just puts so much pressure on the defense, and you could see that last week. And then obviously, he's got a great kicking game. He's got all the skills, like as we've talked about many times. So I guess like with this weekend coming up, we've got the Bronx up against the Raiders. Massive rivalry from the 90s when, you had Alfie and Kevy up against, Ricky and Laurie Daly. So, they haven't actually played in a final, I think, since 95. So I think I really like this matchup. I think Canberra's they're the minor premiers, and they've showed they've got a very young side as well. So that's two young teams going up against each other.
Yeah, yeah. Look. Going into this week, there's the sides in this top eight. They're all pretty hardcore sides. And when I was sort of looking at the lineup, I was like, don't really want to play the Storm. Don't really want to play the Panthers. Probably don't really want to play the Sharks or the Doggies right about now. So it's realistically one of the better matchups for us, I think. Even being Canberra first on the table and the minor premiership winners, I feel like we have a better history against them than we do against a lot of the other teams in there. So personally, I'm quite happy getting them this first week here. Like it's probably the best outcome I could have hoped for first week of the finals. So,
and the other side of it is, you've got Ricky. He wanted to get the game on a Sunday so Canberra could have enough turnaround time. I mean, I think that actually suits the Bronx, like especially if it's a sunny Sunday afternoon. The ball's zinging around. You got Walsh out the back, zipping around. If I was Canberra, I'd want them down there on a Saturday night when it's freezing cold. And
well, look, you've got these Queensland boys that are used to playing in the heat. That's their bread and butter, and you want to go and have a Sunday midday game against them. I don't know what Ricky's thinking there. Maybe they're having a bit of a cold snap down there, and he's thinking he was going to catch the boys unaware. But yeah, I don't know about that one. Just quickly though, on the Broncos and Canberra. First game I ever actually went and seen, first Broncos game I ever seen was Broncos-Canberra game, and they absolutely put the sword to us at ANZ. It was not fun. It was not a great watch. But, got to watch my first game, so I was pretty laughing about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, well, that's been coming up a fair bit on this pod, the old ANZ Stadium, few hoodoos up there.
The old alloy fucking drum.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're mostly going to be getting into the finals this week, but I just wanted to touch on it. End of the season, we talked about it last week, 3 in a row for the Eels. Absolutely put the cleaners through Newcastle. Gave them the wooden spoon, 56-point thrashing.
Oh, wasn't it a masterclass? And you've got your little man Moses out there with his first hat trick. How good's that?
Yeah, he even brought the old Hayne plane out for the celebration on the third one.
Yeah, you gotta love it, don't you?
Yeah, just a bit of a throwback.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I guess it just goes to show, what we talked about last week with the Aussie selectors looking at him. I think is that the signal? He's brought the Hayne plane out, said to Kevy, put me on the plane.
Yeah. Yeah, well, look, he's definitely in good form. And as we were sort of talking last week, I hope that he doesn't get overlooked because of the fact that they're not in the top 8 or in any good ladder spot. But yeah, look, he's a marvelous player, man. Can't sing his praises enough. I love Moses.
Yeah, for sure. And there's another little player I wanted to touch on in the game. Guy I've been really enjoying this year. He's been coming off the bench a bit, playing a bit of back row, playing a bit in the middle. Charlie Geimer. He's only a young fellow, about 20 years of age, and he's got into the backfield, and I'm thinking, he's going to score a try, and I had him anytime try scorer on his own, and pops the ball to Junior Barlow, Big Junes, and gets him off the nudie run. All our boys got off the nudie run.
Oh, really? Everyone in the team got a try, eh?
Yeah, there was actually I heard a punter. He put all the boys that were going to get off the nudie run. He put that into a multi, so it would have been paying a mozza.
What, throughout the year he just added an anytime try scorer for each, or they had?
I think the guys that hadn't scored a try, he put them on to score a try.
Yeah, right. Well,
in the last game of the season,
definitely would have paid good money, eh?
Yeah, well played. So, but yeah, no. Well, I guess looking at the finals, down to 8 teams now. 2 are going to be eliminated this week. So I thought we'll have a bit of a look at like put our predictions in and see what do you think the two teams that are going to make the grand final will be from here.
Look, it's a tough one, man. It really is. Like, ideally, I'd love to probably have a Broncos Warriors grand final. I think that might suit us the best, sort of thing. Um, that's going with my heart. Going with my head, I'm probably going to say we're probably going to have another Storm Panthers grand final. Just the way those two teams can play these big matches, and they really both excel at slowing down that play of the ball, slowing the ruck speed down, giving their men time to get back on side, think, get their breath, and that's huge in these big games when everything is so cut down to the wire. Giving your big men a rest is going to be monumental. And I feel like Storm and Panthers, they're the best two comps at doing best two teams in the comp at doing that. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure. No, well, I mean, there is like Storm that last week, they you guys broke the hoodoo and also they lost Jerome Hughes,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
big loss for them.
that's unfortunate for him. And what was his first game back or something like that, wasn't it? Too. He
Yeah,
just come
first
back
game
from an
back,
injury, and
and then
were they saying a broken wrist or a broken elbow or?
yeah, I think that he might still be a chance of coming back. From what I heard, maybe the injury's not as bad as it was first thought, but it could, it's going to be touch and go from here. You
Yeah,
got limited weeks to come back, and then
yeah, and you
you
don't.
also,
Excuse
yeah,
me. You also don't want to be bringing him back early and risking him doing more injury to it and then missing out on the start of next season either. You want him to be good for the preseason. So,
for sure. Yeah, well, I guess with my a few weeks ago, I would have said I was sort of looking at a Storm Canberra grand final, but that I've sort of got a lot of doubts over the Storm at the moment. And personally, I think the form team is the Broncos. So if I had to pick it right now, with my head, I'd actually go a Broncos Canberra grand final.
yeah, right. Well, look,
Um,
Broncos have been playing some pretty insane football the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I'd love to see him up there as well. And it's just one of them things that they can be a bit choke artisty or a bit hot and cold. Like I think it's Reese goes right with that. Like I think it's just part of their outfit, part of their game, I guess. Part and parcel of being a supporter of the Broncos is you've always got to be ready for that upset.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's the thing about them is that they can be quite erratic, but I also think that they're a side that would scare a lot of the sides in there a lot. Like obviously the Storm now, with what they did last week. But I guess you also can say the Bronx were playing for a lot more than the Storm last week.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
the Storm, they'd secured their spot, whereas the Bronx were fighting for that top four. So,
yeah. And
yeah, I guess. Well, just outside of that, I did. Were you did you have something to say on that or
I was just going to add, like on their day when Broncos throw the ball around, their attack can beat any team. That
100%?
no questions asked about that one. It's just the little errors in defence and letting teams back into it that they struggle with, and that's going to be the issues going into the finals. I think it's going to be relying on their defence. Broncos' defence needs to be there to keep them points out because you've seen time and time again we can score from our own 20-metre line. We don't have a problem getting down there and getting the points, even those runaway tries, and it's keeping out those little ones that are going to get back at us on the scoreboard.
100%? Yeah, they've definitely I think that's what makes them so dangerous is that they can put so many points on you, but at the same time you also, if you're going up against the Broncos, you may get some joy at some point, because there's only just an error around the corner, or yeah. But I also think that the Bronx have got a big redemption arc. They lost the grand final against Penrith 2 years ago. A lot of these players have 2 years on in their career. They've had a few ups and downs since then. So, you
Yeah,
know,
and
um,
So, sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah,
And yeah, you've got a lot of these younger players now that they had that first taste. Like you've got Carrigan, he's had his first taste of a grand final. Unfortunately, he's lost it, but I feel that creates a bit of hunger for him as well. So if they get into the grand final, I think they'll be very dangerous. I wouldn't want to be playing Broncos in a grand final at the moment as another team, but it's just getting there. That's all. I think we got to get 4 on the trot for the ponies.
well, you got the second bite at the cherry. So
Oh, okay. So
if you
we
win
can
this
lose.
week,
We can
yeah,
lose one.
yeah, yeah, and if you win this week, you'll go through to week 3, which is the prelim.
Okay. Cool,
So
cool.
so like, but I mean that it begs that question: do you want to just sort of go all the way through, or like do you need that loss, or sometimes that week off can really rattle sides.
It's good to have that buffer, but yeah, like it's one of them things. And I think even going back years back when I was younger, I can remember my father saying that same. Oh, look, even if we lose this one, we get that second bite at the cherry or whatever. And from memory, we didn't really do too good on that second bite.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
No,
personally, I think you want to stay informed. You want to keep your wins up, which would, I think then that means if we were to go through and win the grand final, we'd nearly be at 7 wins in a row or something like that, going back into the seasonal wins, which that's a tough task for any team, sort of thing, to be looking at 7 on the trot. So it's one of them things. It's still a big mount to climb for us. I wouldn't be I wouldn't sort of be putting my eggs in any baskets just yet.
yeah, 100%, man. Is there any other, just before we move on, is there any other teams that you think are a bit of a smoky or can be a bit dangerous leading into the finals?
Oh man, Roosters is a bit of a smoky for me. I think like they're one of them sides that like they could just out of nowhere just turn a game on its head and just blow you away by 30 points. So
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, Roosters are always, I guess, one of them sides that they could be on fire one night and just absolutely carve you up across the park. So they're probably one of my sides I'm a little bit wary of. Obviously, Storm, as a Broncos player, they're kind of our voodoo side. So Storm are going to be the ones that I think that's where that second bite of the cherry, as you said, might come in handy if we get a Storm game in the mix there. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's yeah, I think the probably the side that I think would scare a lot of people is Penrith,
Yeah.
just because they're going for the 5 in a row.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Now, and
that's also almost starting to get into what do you call it?
dynasty, like,
Probability territory. Like, what is the probability of you winning 5 grand finals in a row?
yeah, 100%. I guess the thing is we've seen what Nathan Cleary can do in a finals match, and
The
it's
Iceman.
pretty scary. So yeah, I mean, as a neutral, I would love to see Bronx and Penrith meet at some point in the finals. Just so the like I'd love to see the Bronx, get that redemption over them from a couple of years ago, whether it's the grand final or whether it's just another finals game. But I also think this final series, it's one of the most open in a few years. The last few years
Yeah,
we've sort of looked at Storm, Penrith, pretty much knew who was going to be in the grand final. But I think this year,
it's sort of anyone's game. Yeah.
it is. It's been a close comp. Yeah, as we've seen throughout the year.
And actually as well, the Warriors being in the top 8. Imagine their fan base at the moment. That because I know that the Warriors they get a lot of love. They're one of them teams that their supporters are true blue supporters. So their fans
Yeah,
would be absolutely loving it. And I know they've already got a lot of supporters in Queensland, sort of thing. They're like one of
definitely.
the 4th Queensland team, I think, mate.
Shout out the bro Chili. He's a Waz fan. So
Is he? Right, I
yeah,
didn't know that. Yeah,
yeah,
right, oh. Well, good
I'll
luck to
be
you, Chill Bomb.
Yeah, so we'll see how they go this week. But it would be good to see them get it over Penrith, knock them out early.
Oh,
Like personally, I don't want to see Penrith win another grand final, but I
no.
also don't have the say on it. So
Yeah, yeah, you're not
yeah,
out there, mate, unfortunately.
that's it, eh? That's it. So yeah, no, we might as well just to round off on this, just jump into our bets for the week.
Yeah, right. Sounds good. Yeah, so for my bet this week, I'm just going to, true to form, mate, nice safety one for me. So I'm going to go Broncos for the head-to-head win, Shivasaki and Reece Walsh for anytime try scorers.
Yeah, nice man. That's a nice one.
Yeah, yeah.
Really,
You got a
really like
payout
that.
figure for me?
Yeah, so for that one, on Sportsbet, we've got that at 9.25.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
So
not bad. That's not bad odds, guys. I'd be
yeah,
getting on that one. That's safe as houses.
yeah, we'll definitely have to get on that one for sure. No, sweet. Well, I might pick one of the other games then, and you mentioned the Roosters there, so I think I'm going to look at for the Roosters. It's quite a difficult game. They're up against Cronulla, and Cronulla beat the Dogs last week too. So bit of a testing game here. But I'm gonna go with the guy that just can't stop scoring at the moment, Mark Nwanganitawase. Hope I said that right. But
I wouldn't have picked it just so I didn't have to say the name.
yeah, Marky Mark. That's what all the if the commentators
you want to have a go at Tino's last name now?
all the commentators there, they just call him Marky Mark. Like I seen Blocker Roach. I think he just Blocker and Kevy, they must look at that name on the sheet and go, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, nah.
Here comes the speech impediment.
Oh, wasn't it who's Papali? They were calling
Papali'i. Yeah,
Papali'i, that's right. Weren't they
yeah.
calling him completely wrong for like a couple of seasons before they actually got him on a microphone and he corrected them?
Yeah, well, in saying that though, it's quite weird because I heard him say it the way that they said it once too, but then it was
Okay.
corrected. But then also there's a Joash Papali that plays for the Eels, but his name's actually pronounced Papali. So
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know. It's just I mean, obviously, you do your best to get the pronunciations and that, but like I
Yeah,
mean,
as a sports caller, how are you gonna?
it's a hard
Yeah,
job. I mean, even my last name, I've had a lot of people, they say Enggy or,
yeah, right.
whatnot. So the
I
old
don't know.
Engine
I don't know how you
engine.
get that one wrong. It's pretty basic spelling and right down the
Yeah,
line for me. But anyway,
that's the one. All right. Well, yeah, get us back on onto that bet. I'm gonna go Nwanganitawase with Kale Iro, and I'm gonna take the Chooks for the win. And you're getting that at 7.25.
yeah, nice,
So
nice. Yeah,
so that couple of bets for the week.
couple of good money makers if they come off too, by the sounds of it.
That's the one. We'll be putting that in the pod kitty, and maybe
Mate.
trip to the fish and chip shop at the end of the year. But
Mate.
yeah, we'll see how we go. Well, just a little bit more on the entertainment side of things. The NRL have just announced Teddy Swims as the act for the grand final.
Yeah, yeah.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I back it, man. I back it. He's definitely he's got a cult following, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He's
for sure. He's got that, and he's got quite a good like I think he'll bring in some new people as well as probably not too bad for the oldies.
yeah, yeah. Well, I also I think he's on a tour currently, so I think he's also going to have a support act. Baby Boy, I believe, is the name of that supporting act there.
Oh, cool.
And he said that they haven't announced what they're going to sing yet, but they've said that they're going to do a popular cover. So I don't know any speculation on what that could be. Maybe they're going to do an Australian song or something like that, like an Australian-made cover. Maybe an old Jimmy Barnes or something like that.
Simply the best. Tina
Maybe.
Turner, maybe bring
Yeah.
some rugby league. Maybe switch it up. But I don't know. It's going to be quite interesting. I know the old chairman of the NRL, Peter V'landys. He took a bit of a swipe at Snoop, which I was sort of a bit can't PVL. You don't need to pick on Snoop.
Yeah, no, we backing Snoop in here.
Yeah, like he's saying, oh, it's a bit of a dog act, and playing on the puns a little bit, but yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a pretty good. Yeah, I would have loved Snoop at the NRL, to be honest.
Yeah, he definitely he brings that. We've spoken about Snoop before. He's just an entertainer, and yeah, I'd love to see him at the NRL. It's one of them things. I think there's a lot of artists that I'd love to see the NRL bring in. I can't see it happening because, as
Yeah,
you've sort of just mentioned there, and I guess the stigma around Snoop and the whole element of what he stands for. I guess I don't know about if I could ever see him bringing him in, but wouldn't it be good, man? Like,
yeah,
I watched the AFL Grand Final just sheerly for Snoop's performance. I'm not much of an AFL head, but yeah,
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind a bit of AFL, obviously, like more of a leaguey in general. Um, but the Missos are pretty massive Pies fans, so they're in with a shot this year. So probably sort of get into it a little bit anyway through that. But like obviously, yeah. I mean, I just I think it's just one of those things where Peter V'landys, he's sort of just probably trying to have a little bit of a shot at the AFL and get a little bit of publicity going there.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. I don't.
so,
There's
but
probably no ill will there or malice behind it. You're probably right. It's just wanting to get one up on them.
yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, just man, some other pretty tragic news that happened today was Charlie Kirk. He was assassinated at a university.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, that's crazy news, isn't it? And like we both watch some podcasts and stuff like that he's featured on, and I quite often watch his shorts and watch him doing the out in public debates where he go to the rallies and basically anyone can stand up and challenge his views and stuff. And I've followed Charlie Kirk for a while now, and I quite enjoyed his content. It's a bit of a tragedy, but we were speaking about it last week, like as we were speaking it before the show as well, like not being allowed to have an opinion anymore, and it's I don't know, man. I don't personally think anyone should be de-lifed for having their opinions or having their political persuasions, whatever they be, or any opinion, but whether it be political or not. We're all entitled to have our own opinions and beliefs and feelings and thoughts, and for someone to just go out there and take a life like that over what I'm guessing is they just disagree with what he stands for, it's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, definitely, man. And obviously, I mean, I don't know of his content all that well. Like I've seen some bits and pieces over the time, but yeah, like you said, you should be able to have an opinion without being killed for it, and or unalived or whatever you got to say on these platforms, so that they don't take this
Yeah,
video down. But
yeah,
yeah, like basically, like I think, yeah, sure, he was a conservative, and he had a lot of right wing views, but that doesn't give anyone that reason to go and do that to someone. And I think it just goes to show that the extremisms on both sides, something that we've talked about multiple times as well, is you know, the polarities of things. Like the things that people don't realize is that, they start to forget that that's also a human. They start to see the symbol and they see the symbol as the enemy. And it happens on both sides of politics. It's not just right or it's not just left. It's both sides are guilty of it. But it just goes to show, like, I think the far left, they like to position themselves as, you know, as good people,
holier than thou, better than thou.
yeah,
Got it, man. Yeah,
and they're just as capable of violence as anyone else, as any human being is capable of violence. And I think the biggest thing that I take from this is like a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about from a metaphysical point of view is, trying not to get caught up in the trap of polarities, and trying to stay more balanced and understand that, even us, we might have like see something and have like a strong opinion on it. But sometimes like the biggest thing is you learn the most from the people you disagree with.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. And even going back to whether they be left wing or right wing, it still, whoever's done this, that's a 1%. That's an outlier. That doesn't also represent the other side of the coin. So that's going back on the polarities thing. Like you have got these guys that are going to go to the extreme and that have done this sort of caper, but that doesn't go to say that the rest of like the left hand parties or whatever aren't peaceful or that they aren't this or that. It's just it's one of them things on the polarities. Like you've got this guy that is obviously right to that side of the polarity. Was there any word? Did they actually catch the guy who's done it, or have they?
I last I'd seen they did get someone, but then they found out that was the wrong person. So tragically, the footage is actually up online. You can see it happening as he's speaking. So it's like it's quite a I think there's going to be a there's going to be a lot of
publicised and highly followed by the media. So
yeah, definitely. And I think like probably the biggest thing that people need to remember, like I know that there's a lot of people that are very riled up at the moment, but regardless of what you think of someone's political views, they're still a human being. They still have a family. He had a wife, 2 kids, I believe. So, I mean, just guys, just like think about it a little bit and
live and let live, hey.
That's it, man, and and like I say, like I'm not sort of criticizing either side of politics. Like personally, I like to, I don't really, like I find, politics is one of those things. It becomes so polarizing. And, even if I have my views on certain things, but I always try and challenge my own views anyway, so if I believe something, I always try and,
be objective
play, be objective, play devil's advocate, and also understand that again, like I'll just be trapped in that polarity of in an echo chamber, or like I think there's a lot of stuff that happens online these days. So yeah. Anyway, rest in peace to Charlie.
Yeah, rest in peace. That's tragic news.
All right, well, we might we better jump into Mount Rushmore for this week.
5/8 for the week. Number 6s.
Yeah. Well, I think I think you did it last week first, was it? Or?
Yeah, that is correct, my friend. Yeah. That is correct.
All right, sweet. Well, I'm not gonna muck around with this. First up, I put JT in there, Jonathan Thurston. Played halfback and 5'8", but personally, he's going to be in both lists for me. Just too good. Yep. As you know, bit of a family connection there with our Pop. Our Pop is a massive supporter, and watched him grow up from a young age. So always someone that I've looked up to.
Yeah. Mum actually used to tell stories back in the day about he used to get into their backyard and climb up their mango tree and be throwing mangoes down at the girls and just being a little pain in the nuts. So
yeah, classic boy. Nothing we haven't done anyway.
Nah, just
that's it.
You take the boy out of the ridge, but you can't take the ridge out of the boy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, well, like, I mean, Pop. He went to when he debuted for Australia. He went there and got a jersey signed and was hanging out with all the guys they had in the team at that time, like Hindmarsh and like, 'cause I was saying to Pop, how what was Hindy like and that sort of thing, and even like Dad played with his with Jonathan's dad, Graham, and like basically he used to say he'd see him at training and all that sort of stuff. He's always running around with a footy in his hand, So yeah, well, my second pick, it's hard doing this because I'm such a big Queenslander, but had to go Freddie Fittler. Massive step, just the step. that he had on him, and yeah,
And
just
in his time, man, he was one of the greats. He
dead
was
set gun.
absolutely legendary player. I think I remember going and watching. Was there a Broncos Roosters grand final? Back when I was younger, it might not have been a grand final. Might have just been a prelim or a semi. But went and watched it at my friend Dean's house that I used to play with.
Yeah,
And him and his dad, they were both massive Roosters supporters, and Broncos. Me and my dad, both big Broncos supporters, and yeah, they dusted us. Actually, remembering now, it was a grand final because I remember at the end of it, Dean's dad Kenny went out and stood on the main road and yelled at the top of his lungs, "Roosters, Roosters, Roosters! How fucking good!"
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Nah, they were a gun in that Roosters period,
that era. Yeah, they
and
really
for the
dominated.
Blues, and like he was just classic player. So,
Yeah.
Third on the list, couldn't go past Darren Lockyer, man. Personally, I think he's an immortal in waiting, and dominated two positions too. Was a fullback originally, and just honestly, what he did with Queensland and the Broncos and that,
And
just-
as you said, he's one of them guys that played a couple of different positions, but he's in my eyes, Darren Lockyer is a 5'8".
for sure. And like the biggest thing is just wanted to let everyone know, if you go on YouTube, you can actually listen to Lockie before he got hit in the throat, and it's quite a laugh. So yeah, had the voice of an angel.
It's gotten a lot better since he's stopped playing football, and he's done the casting. I think he's gone and got some surgery on his larynx. And gotten it fixed up, because I remember some of them post game interviews. It was Kermit the Frog, mate. It was
he'd be in the team for the croaky voices.
It's like you had our Auntie Sylvia out there giving a bloody interview.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Auntie Sylvia.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, and my final pick, man, this was a hard one. I really struggled. The first three were easy, but I chucked Benji in there. I just thought, change the game. When he again with the stepping, come out and was stepping everyone. And I mean, you'd go to the park and you'd be practicing the Benji step. Like I don't think there was a kid that wasn't watching rugby league at that point that didn't want to try and be Benji Marshall. So
dude, that list is almost identical to mine. So I won't stuff around with it. I've got Darren Lockyer for number 1, Brad Fittler for number 2, Cameron Munster for number 3. Go the Queenslander. And then I had to slot this guy in probably a little bit before our time or when we were real young, but Laurie Daly. That's my fourth there. So.
Yeah, massive list, man. Hey, I think both of those lists, good mix in there. You've got like a bit of a mix, 2 Queenslanders, 2 cockroaches. So
look, I hated to do it, I really did, but like it's one of them things. Like you can't take away from Fittler's dominance in that position, and Laurie Daly, he was one of the greats, like one of the best of all time as well. So.
Yeah, for sure. I must admit, I went close to putting Loz in there, and again, credit where credit's due. Real recognised real. You gotta put him in there.
I think also the fact that Bronx have got Canberra this week, and Loz played a lot of his football there. So I think that's sort of what sort of tipped it over the edge for me there. So I'll go first with the sleeper picks this week. Oldie but a goodie. I'm sure everyone knows this one. Home by Edward Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros.
Nice.
Yeah.
My eye, girl, I never loved one like you. Man, oh man, you're my best
my sleeper for this week, I'm going to go with Jess Harlan, singer-songwriter, bit of sort of soul roots sort of music.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm going to go with the song Step Back.
Yeah, you actually suggested this to me a couple of weeks ago when I asked if it's just like a chill vibe.
Yeah, definitely. Just being, I guess when life's getting a bit heavy, it's good to just have a bit of chill vibes there to sort of kick back.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
For sure.
Let's get it.
Step back, my baby. Retract that statement. I've seen you naked. You mystify my mind. Hold on, my hand. I lay low where I can, but you know I won't stand alone here. First chords I ever know, sing it to you, simple and true. I'm falling for you. I believe in you. I don't want to learn to need you, but nobody does it like you do.
All right, sweet, bro. Another one in the bag. Up the Broncos.
Up the Bronx.
Bronx
Yeah.
Nation.
Yeah, number 6, mate. Done and dusted.
We might have a special one coming up next week. Number 7, that's my number.
Is it? Oh, your number you played. I was going to say it's my lucky number.
It's my lucky number too. So
Yeah, right.
we got a couple of special eps coming up, hopefully.
Man,
So
the Rushmore picks next week are going to be insane. I mean, 7,
man.
it's kind of your pinnacle position, isn't it?
I'm already not looking forward to it. You know,
Hands are sweating.
yeah, for sure, man. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. So, but yeah, well, thanks for rocking with us, guys. Something a bit different this week. Bit of a virtual episode, but hopefully we'll be back in the studio together soon. And we'll. Oh man, one thing we actually quickly forgot. Massive super fight happening this week. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Who's your prediction?
Yeah, look, dude, it is a super fight, isn't it? For me, Canelo, he's a great man. He's getting on a little bit, but I think he can pull it together. That's my prediction. I think it'll go the distance. I think they both got that stamina, and even though Canelo can have that knockout power, I feel like this one's going to go the distance, go to the judges, mate.
Yeah, well, man, we're on the same page again here. I'm pretty much the same. I think, Canelo. I think it'll go the distance. I think just Canelo's he's genuinely bigger than Crawford too in his size. In terms of body shape. So I do think he's going to be able to sort of take the impact of anything that Bud Crawford's going to throw at him. But I also think, both of them, it's a massive fight, man. It's probably the biggest fight since, looking at your likes of Triple G and Canelo, or even Pacquiao, Mayweather. I think this is the biggest boxing fight that we've had on the card for a while, and it's on Netflix too, which is cool.
Yeah, dude. I must say I am loving the sports going on Netflix these days. I caught some of the Eagles game the other day. I'm not sure if that was Disney or Netflix, but yeah, I caught a little bit of that. I'm loving that the sports going on these streaming services, because every man and their dog's got a subscription to a streaming service. So
for sure,
you sort of, and with like a big ticket fight like this one, you imagine how many people are going to tune in and watch that. Like
definitely,
your ratings, I feel like, will far outweigh your pay-per-views you would get by having it as private.
For sure, yeah. I think, one of the I forget his name. I think it's Turkey. It's one of the like Saudi guys or whatever. Big honcho dudes. He was saying that that they're sort of moving away from the pay-per-view sort of model, and they're going to be going to a lot more subscription model. So I think that's going to make it a lot better for the fans. I mean, most likely they're probably going to raise the price up to, but I think a lot of how they probably will make their money is they'll sell these big fights to the network, and then that's how they'll make their money, because that's going to drive a lot of traffic.
You'll have people that'll pick up a subscription just to watch the fight. And
100%.
I feel like if they go to the subscription-based model too, then instead of being $50 or $60 for one fight, which is hard to justify because you could, like, you're looking at, oh, what if the fight's over in 2 rounds? I've just paid this much for it or whatever. Whereas it goes to the subscription-based model, you've got people are more than happy to pay $25 a month. And there might not be a fight for 2 months, like a big fight that's worth watching. So it's like, your diehard guys will watch all that undercard stuff and all the other stuff going on behind the curtain. But guys like me, I just watch the big fights these days, mate. I don't get too bogged down in it anymore.
Yeah, no, 100%, man.
Fuck my phone.
Awesome, man. We'll oh yeah, you still on here, bro?
Okay, no worries. Fuck, how's this? This is shutting down for ages. This is awesome. I'll chat to you, brother.
Yeah, you're still going. All right, peace.
Catch you, man.
All right, guys. Thanks for having us for another week. That's us done. Appreciate you rocking with us.